In this video, I will explain how to make face masks from common household air filters. This is an easy way to make a difference in the COVID-19 pandemic by keeping yourself and others safe while not taking masks away from the healthcare professionals who really need them. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to make one mask, but only a few minutes more to mass produce them, so it makes sense to make a lot. To make a mask, you'll need one residential air filter of any size. These can be found at Lowe's, Costco, or Home Depot. You can also find some in your house. You might have extras. You're probably already using them for other things. And as you can see, each filter has an MERV rating, which describes what kind of particles it can keep out. Human coronaviruses are tiny. They are typically 0.1 to 0.2 microns in size. However, they generally travel in mucus droplets from coughs and sneezes. These droplets range in size, but are typically larger than 200 microns. So it makes sense to choose your filter according to its efficiency at filtering particles that are at least 3.0 microns. In other words, try to use filters that are MERV 12 or higher. You will also need a 1/4 inch elastic, which is available at any craft or fabric store, a wire clothes hanger, some wire clippers or strong scissors, and a needle and thread. You can also use staples in a pinch. Bias tape is optional for improving durability and comfort and available in any craft store. You can also use an old t-shirt cut into strips to achieve the same results. First, take the air filter and crease the edges all around. Next, take the scissors and cut away all the way around the cardboard border of the air filter in the crease that you just created. Once you've cut all the way around the filter, begin to tear off the front side. Be sure to get all of the wire and cardboard bits off, but don't cut yourself on the wire, it's sharp. It's also important to damage the fabric as little as possible. Repeat this step on the other side. The next step is to create one 9 by 9 inch square of filter material per mask that you want to make. To do that, measure 9 inches down one side of the filter, with the filter completely flattened, and cut. For the filter I'm using, 9 inches is about 12 folds. Once you've found the correct fold, just cut upwards in a straight line. A 9-inch mask should fit most adults, but you can make it larger or smaller depending on the person. Don't worry, you'll tailor it to your specific face later. Here you can see I'm cutting a lot because I want to make a lot at once. Now, cut the other side into 9-inch sections to finish the square. You'll notice that some parts of the filter are fuzzy and falling apart slightly due to damage. Be sure to avoid these in your squares, as the mask will not be as effective if it contains damaged sections. The next step is to make a nose bridge so that the mask will fit securely without leaks. You can use the wire clothes hanger for this. I prefer to use strips of 1/2 inch wide by 1/64 inch thick aluminum from K&S Precision Metals. You can order it online, since I find them more comfortable and durable, but the clothes hanger also works well, and they're in more people's houses. Either way, cut a 6-inch piece out of a straight section, but don't shape it yet. Here you can see I'm trimming the edges of the metal so that there won't be any pokey bits. If you turn the 9 by 9 square filter over to the correct side, you'll see that the top fold can be a perfect pocket for the nose bridge you just created. Place it there, and sew the flap closed by hand or with a machine. You can also staple it shut with a stapler if you want. You can use staples for most of these steps with pretty much the same effects, but it's better to use thread if you have it. The next step is the hardest. You must fold the sides of the mask several extra times so that they are about 3 inches long instead of 9 inches. Be sure that you do this with the sides that are to the left and right when the folds in the fabric are oriented horizontally, and that you do this only with the sides, not with the whole mask. It can help to pin the sides so that they stay in place, but don't iron them, that'll damage the fabric. Fasten both sides in place by sewing, or with a stapler. The next step is optional, but again increases both durability and comfort. Fold the bias tape, or the soft strips from a t-shirt, around all 4 sides of the mask. It might help to pin the corners. You need 2 feet of bias tape or t-shirt for this. When you get to a corner, pinch the side you were just stitching and open up the next part of the binding to fold over the part you just made. This is how your mask should look pinned before you stitch it. Stitch all the way around. Next, it's important to add elastic in order to ensure a snug fit. If possible, you'll get the best fit if you can stretch the elastic while you sew it onto both of the short sides. If you do this, the sides of the mask will also be stretchy and conform better to your face. You finished your mask now. But the mask is only as good as it fits on your face. Try it on and bend the nose bridge so that it fits tightly. Tie the elastic around your head. The mask, in order to work properly and protect you, should fit snugly without any gaps that could let in unfiltered air. Run your finger around the whole mask and make sure it isn't loose anywhere. By altering the placement or tightness of the elastic and the shape and placement of the nose bridge, you should be able to get rid of any gaps. If you have a very narrow face, you might need to cut a little piece off the width of the mask. Congratulations, you're done. Before I end the video, I have a few notes to help your mask process go smoother and to ensure that you're understanding what you're making. First, a note on using multiple layers of filter. You might be tempted to use multiple layers of filter or fabric, but don't. Doing so has a lot of negative side effects. It would increase the resistance of the filter and make it more difficult to breathe through the mask. And more importantly, it would be less flexible, and therefore it would be more likely that unfiltered air would be breathed in. So don't recommend that. Next, should this mask be washed and reused or replaced? Short answer, yes. Use a fresh mask daily if you can, but you can also wash these masks. The air filter material tends to deteriorate when washed in the washing machine, but it can be soaked and hand washed in the sink with mild soap. Be sure to rinse and dry completely before wearing again. Washed filters might have decreased efficacy, and filters don't have the same efficiency against small particles when they're wet. So again, it's a good idea to make a fresh mask to use every day if possible. Lastly, I would like to make the limitations of these masks clear. Please know that you are not making a medical device. These homemade masks are DIY, they're not tested by the FDA, and they don't have its approval. In times of need, we have to make do with what we can find. This is definitely better than nothing. If you use MERV-rated air filters to make these masks, you have at least some assurance that the materials have been manufactured according to industry standards. And while these masks, in particular, have not been yet tested clinically, it's likely they will give much better protection than masks made from t-shirts or other less reliable materials, and will also be more comfortable to wear. I hope this is helpful, and I hope that you all stay safe in this pandemic. We're all wishing you the best. Good luck.